Great. So the question here is, does this work if databases like MySQL and MongoDB need to be spun up and run the app and test or approve the POR? I think this is a good segue. Um, yes, the answer is absolutely yes. And I think I'm going to call on Pawan to showcase one of our nightmare enterprise products. Um, so, yeah, by the way, I think Jonathan has an extension to his question to say, does this also show up in the PR? It was not POR, but yes, the answer is absolutely. It doesn't matter whether it's the dev environment and the PR environment are exactly the same. So, Pawan, do you want to pull up um, the famous or the notorious
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yes, I'm going to bring up
beast?
a repo. We have a product called SLI, which is an e-commerce-based product line, which has like multiple modules to kind of bring in. This specific one is kind of quite famous internally because we had like 16 repos it is kind of dependent on, and it's like quite a wide variety of things this product or project is dependent on. The example what gentleman asked for example, this has a MongoDB dependency. It has like so many other servers which had so many other code bases. Just on the port numbers alone, there's like what 45 servers running on this as a dependency. I just opened this repo ahead. If you see here, like all of these dependent servers are running in a single browser-based IDE, like 16 repos all opened up in a single place. I don't think so. My local MacBook can probably do this. Like it'll literally stutter otherwise, right? So if you notice here, you have like Mongo running, you have Discovery services running, like so many things running as terminals, um, and then putting together such kind of such a large project in itself would have taken weeks otherwise for developers to kind of go set up all of the dependencies required and then get to that kind of a login screen would have been a nightmare otherwise. And because it is kind of completely terminal based, and it will ask you saying like where you want the terminal to be created, right? So I could just kind of go and create another terminal, um, and then think of this as like any other local dev environment where you have a bash terminal and then all of these servers running. The sheer size of this file alone is staggering for me.
Yeah, and this is just literally the dependencies across all these different repositories that have different code bases, microservices based architecture, all these different services being launched, all the dependencies being run. So yeah, I mean, this setup was built, like I said, for us to build complex enterprise software, and we handle it all. And you, just like Pawan said, I think that kind of nails it. It is really hard to find a machine that won't die on you as you try to deploy and build all these really complex systems. So yes, it works for some incredibly complex systems, but it also works for the super easy stuff and everything in between. And that's the beauty of an environment like this. It's simple principles that basically drive the scale of this setup, that allow you to just do your work and not worry about what you need to do behind the scenes.